Hello, so this is my latest eBay pickup. Supposedly it did work, but now it's playing up. I guess we'll find out. But let's thought I'd have a look at what we've got here before actually trying to turn it on. So we've got all nicely wrapped up. Computer. It's like a really thin power cable. Oh, it's only got, there's no earth. A funny thin power cable there. I guess that's the original one, no earth. It's got a date on there. 12th of the 7th, assuming it's UK road. 1990 anyway. 1990, so 32 years old. We have a mouse, the classic IBM PS2 ball mouse, made in Ireland. I have a tour guide, it's like a sealed manual. We have a keyboard. That's nice IBM keyboard. Oh, very nice and loud. So that's dated 31st January 91. Still got its feet, still got its rubber feet as well. It's all made in UK, this is. We've got a front panel, the lovely IBM PS1 logo on. It's not snapped off, it's just unclipped. That's good. Still got this little things clips there. We have the screen. It's got volume control. It's got little sliders, volume, brightness and contrast. I think yeah, it's colour. January 91, made in Korea. This is interesting. Power comes into the screen and it gives this VGA, and there's the power for the PC comes down this cable. So if you lose that screen, well, you can't use another screen, and if that power supply goes, you're in trouble. Let's look at the main box itself. So it's just double height affair. I love that. C drive, not hard drive. 1.44 bit floppy, A, light. So this is obviously an upgrade of some sort. Looking at the back, we've got, so there's a VGA, there's the power from the screen, parallel, serial, keyboard, mouse, little fan. So what's this? It's just 3 blank panels. I want to have a quick look inside before I turn it on. Not that I know how. Oh. So it's just 3 16-bit ISO slots. That's interesting, isn't it? So that comes off. There's that little riser card, a little digi fan. Some things under there, I don't know what that is. Little circuit board. Maybe something to do with power engine or something. How does this go off? I have no idea. Well, obviously comes off forwards because that's folded over there, so that's forwards and the plastic front's got to come off. Aha! That just pulls off. That's the same as the one on the top. So I assume you can just put this on. Yeah, so that's how it must come originally. It comes with this expansion pack. What do we have here? Let's get you in a bit closer. So, what do we have here? Floppy. Hard drive. What is this then? It's a 30 meg WDL330P. Oh, it's a card disconnector, ESDI. Oh, praying the hard drive works then. I can see 4 BIOS chips down there. That's interesting. IBM Greenux is made in Scotland. Some sort of, looks like power related little daughter board there. There's a slot that goes up to the ISO slots. It's weird, the serial port there is on its own daughter board. Not sure what that's all about. Well, I was wondering where the battery would be, really. See if there's any leaks. That's a poor design. So let's get this out. This tray out. There's a screw down there. And the end of the hard drive overlaps it. That's how that comes out. There's me saying it's poor design. Hard drive's in the way. Actually, it comes out, it's on a plastic sled, like the PS2s. Both these are. So I could have taken the hard drive out without unscrewing it, never mind. So what do we have here? It is, yeah, look. 4 BIOS chips. All dated late 1990, November. Of course it's made in Scotland, so the dates are day, month, year. It's 4 BIOS. I wonder if this has... Could you get it without a hard drive and it has like DOS in ROM? I don't know. What's that? Is that some RAM? Card 00 it just says. Interesting. There's the CPU. I'm sure I can get that on camera. It's a Intel 286 10 megahertz. Well, there's nothing leaked. It's got a Dallas chip there, so that is potentially replaceable. Or I can try and do a coin cell mod to it. But apart from a bit of dust, that's not bad at all. Let's see if it works. Isn't it cute? Everything lines up right size. That's well cool. So, I hear fans, I hear the hard drive light's on. 303, 161 or 163. 161, 163, that's a really lovely clear screen. 161, 163, that's just batteries flat, lost config. 303, keyboard related? Interestingly, the two keyboard lights are on. Let's try a different keyboard. ST, the other thing's gone. Must be something wrong with that keyboard. Well, that was quick. Is this in ROM? That's what this full ROMs are. Oh, mouse works. Let's get you in a bit closer. That sucks, isn't it? Not quite. Information, Microsoft Works, your software, IBM DOS. DOS shell, DOS 4. So, had a few errors on hard drive, it's fixed, 30 meg, 16K in bad sectors. $155 files in the DOS folder. Wow, there's a lot of rubbish on here. Oh, look, there's pretty cool stuff as well, actually. So I'm sure. Oh, documents have just been saved to the root of the hard drive. Wow, DOS 4 doesn't do directories. Keen Dreams. Keen 1. Can I do? Works, DOS, EcoMask, PCF7. Windows, Games, Keen 4. It's Windows, isn't it? Windows 3. Right, let's watch this boot. Power on. Cursor. Date time, yeah. There's no flickering of the hard drive or anything, because this must just come out of that ROM. There's 4 ROMs that are on board. obviously has a copy of this thing and DOS as well, I guess. Let's see what we've got here. Information, system tutorial. I don't have the system tutorial disk. Let's see if I can download that. Works, that's just going to be Microsoft Works, isn't it? Works, I can see the hard drive light flashing, so this is coming off the hard drive. There we go, Microsoft Works version 2, 1989. IBM DOS. Yeah, return DOS shell, exit, enter. Oh, you got IBM DOS version 4. C colon DOS. There's a lot of stuff in there. So let's have a look. Customize how system starts. Start from built-in DOS. Right, let's do diskette first. Otherwise, start from built-in DOS. Begin at built-in menu. Or works. Okay, yeah. The config sys can be, and choose where it comes from. Well, that's cool. Change hardware. Or you can do as a serial parallel there, nothing exciting. Change hardware again. Exactly the same. You see it's got 1 meg of memory in it. I wonder if it's 640k and then that little daughter board takes up to 1 meg. I don't know what's on this fixed disk. I should really take a backup of it. In fact, yes, I will do that now. Right, I want to back up, but I want to back up to the zip drive, but I can't get it to read floppies properly. I can do DIR, but I can't copy any files off. So I'm not quite sure what's up there. So I'm going to try good old terminal. I've not done this in a long time. Going over to a Windows 10 laptop with a serial to USB adapter and Terraterm at the other end. So binary transfer, X modem, I guess. How do you do the serial port? Communications. Oh, there we go. Let's do 9600 COM1 8 none 1. And on Terraterm, which I've got down here. Serial port COM3 9600 891 none. So if I type hello, oh, there we go, look. So let's do transfer, receive binary file, and over here do send, oh no, transfer X modem send. Let's call this temp zip guest.exe. And on the laptop, Sensitivity. Nothing happens. I'm seeing this retry 450. Yes, that's working. That's just a second. Yes, it's on. Get away. I guess it's a shoot. Failed, yes, okay. Kermit. Transfer. See my file. Guess I'll get a oh, seems twice. 6 seconds, 8 seconds. 353 per second. Oh, need us. Right, so I copied over the files I think I need. These, guest, don't know that kind.com is there, they can go. Guest. Just thinking about it. This is also weird. I try and format a disk. This is invalid parameter. Why would it say that? This is interesting. Found a program called setup in the DOS prompt. So disk set is 1.2, 5.25. Quit out this thing. Oh, there. Still doesn't want to do that though. Still invalid parameter. Nope, locked out now. I think I need to change that Dallas battery. Right, I've just done the old drill out the side of a Dallas chip and attach it to a 3-volt battery. Let's see if it works. Right, so let's do customize how system starts. Try diskette first. Change hardware configuration. Not actually do anything, just save it. Out of this. Power off. Looking for the power button on the PC. Power on. Just a 163 this time. but it remembered the setting. So what is wrong with it? What's a 163? Let's just do a setup as well. It's going to 1.44 meg. Time of date is completely wrong. Look, 99, 99, 9999, 99 hours. So that's locked up. So 163 is a configuration error, isn't it? So what is the configuration error? Date is 04/07/2022. Time is 23:23. No problem copying files now. So it thought it was a 5 1/4 inch drive. So can I boot off this? Well, it's a Windows Millennium boot disk, so I doubt it works at 286. Right, let's stick a bit of tape around that, or a bit of hot glue even. And that connection and that the solder joint, and put this all back. Just a quick tour around the motherboard. So there's a 286 10 MHz Intel. The rest of the chipset is here. Don't know if you can read what this says. Possible to read. The chip there. Nowadays I don't want to take any of these stickers off. Switch out with a likely handwritten process check. So someone signed this off. Happy with it. There's my Dallas battery bodge. That works a treat. And these are those 4 ROMs. So I don't have the equipment to dump those, unfortunately. And this is a memory upgrade here. So I'm guessing this only comes with 512K because it's four memory chips there. There's the same 4 in there. Well, I don't have the same 4, but it looks similar. I still find that quite cool. Got a serial port, and there's a large space there. I don't know what chip would go there. This parallel port does not work with the zip drive. Cannot get it to work. So that's a bit of a shame. So I've been playing around with this, and beep beep, and the DOS installs just seem to be a bit of a mess. So it's got that IBM DOS 4.00 in ROM, which I've told it don't bother booting. Boot from floppy first, then boot from hard disk. If you press and hold both mouse buttons at once while you hit the power button and turn it on, then it will always boot back to the old ROM BIOS, so I've always got that. On the hard drive is 4.01, and when you boot off the hard drive it comes with LNX and all sorts. It's just got a right mix of stuff. You try and run some DOS programs and it'll say incorrect DOS version, so someone's messed around on this and it's just a bit of a mess. There's very little hard drive space. It's only 30 meg drive anyway, but it's like a couple of meg free, so I'm going to go through and see what I can clean up. I've taken an image of the hard drive, so I've got the network card working. I was able to run a FTP server. That's how I copied all the files off to another PC. So yes, I think I'm going to install DOS 5 on this. I was going to go 6.22, but I've now decided 5 because it fits Windows 3.0 a bit better. It's a bit more correct for it, I think. I'm going to go and wipe out the mix of DOSes that are on here. See if I can clear up a bit more space. There's a load of temporary files and checklist files and just junk basically. So I will go and install DOS. You don't need to watch me doing that, and I'll be back shortly. So what was the PS1 range from IBM? Well, after the original PC XT and 80 ranges that were released in the early to mid 80s, IBM launched the PS2 line of computers in April 87 with a range of specs from an 8086 through 286s up to 386DX, the range of memory and hard drive options. The PS2 range introduced standards that we still know of today, if not a little less used here in 2022, such as a VGA connector, the PS2 mouse and PS2 keyboard, 3.5-inch high density floppy, and the 16550 UART serial port. Of course, it introduced the MCA bus as well, which is not so much used these days. These were not cheap machines though, and tended to only be used for businesses and not at home. IBM did once attempt a home PC, the PC Junior, in 1984, but this was not a particularly successful product, being expensive, low spec and horrible to use, so it was soon discontinued. With the success of the PS2 business range, IBM then released the PS1 range in 1990, 5 years after the PC Junior was scrapped. It was again a cheaper version of their PC, but this time it was actually a proper PC. The range was aimed at home users and was priced accordingly. These now used ISA instead of MCA, so more upgradable, and also generally IDE apart from the early models. They were meant to be easy to use, and booted straight up into a 4-quadrant screen and let you choose what you wanted to do with ease. The DOS version 4 and this interface was stored in ROM, so they booted up really quickly. Some models didn't have a hard drive at all, so this was a great interface to the machine without having to find floppy disks just to turn the PC on. The 4 quadrants let you look up help documentation or go online in the US, use Microsoft Works, access other applications on floppy disks or on your hard drive, or jump to a DOS prompt, or DOS shell in fact. The range started with a 286 at 10 MHz like I have here with half a meg onboard RAM, but you could upgrade it by another half meg or even a couple more meg. The hard drive was 30 or 40 meg, and as mentioned optional. I have the 30 meg version here. The first models had no expandability built in, so an ISA adapter card unit or an ACU was released. You can see this here, which offers 3 16-bit ISA slots that are probably 2/3 length. Later models had expansion slots built inside the case, and later models again had a tower case option for full size expandability. The range ended up going up to 486DX266 before being discontinued, and the IBM Aptiva range took over. So what have I done with this machine? I've upgraded DOS to version 5. I found a 1-disk installation of DOS. It seems to have a zipped up version of DOS. It seems to be official, but it's quite nice. It comes on 1 disk anyway, installs. So I no longer boot off of the internal ROM to the DOS 4, but I still can do if I wish. I still have the customize tool, which lets me choose built-in DOS, diskette first, and what drive I want to read from. I've cleaned up the hard drive, and I have a huge 6 meg free, which out of 30 meg drive isn't actually that bad. I've put a network card in this machine, It's a 3COM 3C509B, I think, Etherlink 3. Plugged into a normal home network, and it was actually really easy to get going, so I thought I'd show you what I did. So first of all, I unzip the 3COM files onto the hard drive, and there's this program called 3C5X9CFG, which lets you detects the card, 16-bit ISA, and you just do auto configure. It says it can't detect network, I don't know why, but it does actually fine. It chooses 300 base address IRQ10. I will just change transceiver type to RJ45. Full duplex is disabled, it's probably best. Plug and play disabled, obviously. So there we go. You can run tests if you want, but I know it passes the tests. So once you have that running, you want to run the power driver. So in here there's a PKT DVR file from 3C5X9PD, which I can't type. We need to give it an IO base. X60 seems to be the one that works. It detects it, twisted pair, 10 base T, Ethernet address. And then you need like the TCP IP layer. So using MTCP, which is easily findable online, you just run DHCP. Oh, sorry, you've got to set the config file. DHCP, request sent, there you go, I've got an IP address, 192.168.173. Good news everyone. And then there's a bunch of other tools in here, so you can do a ping. There you go, got ping in Google. Does feel slightly weird pinging google.com from a 1990 286. There's other tools in here as well. There's FTP client, FTP server. There's the FTP server that I use to back up the entire hard drive off to another PC. So yeah, I've got it online. I thought I was on a roll, so I tried to get a Sound Blaster Vibra 16 plug and play to work, and no, I could not get the software to detect the card. It will just hang or just not detect it. So I'll keep my eye out for an early Sound Blaster 2 on AdLib, and that can go inside this machine. Otherwise, yeah, there's not a lot on here really. There's Works is still on here. I can still run, what's it called? The ROM shell. I can still run this if I want. There's information, Works, your software, which is just browses your hard drive and DOS. Yeah, hopefully you can see what a lovely crisp screen this still is. Date and time still correct. Not that I ever use it, but it's quite funny seeing what people have put on here, such as Spice Girls wannabe lyrics. So, it seemed to be used by a couple of kids, this machine was, which is exactly what it was intended to be used for, which is great really. It has Windows 3.0 on it, which works absolutely fine, if a little slow. As you can tell by the time it takes to load. Oh, that was me messing around with doing some other groups. But yeah, we have a working Windows 3 there. You can see how slow it is. There were a couple of games on here. I've not tried Keen Dreams actually yet. Didn't want to run. Why not? Oh, 5. Play the game. Might help. There we go. Land of Tuberia. Oh, no sound, no PC speaker sound. PC speaker is on. Just need to turn up the crackly volumes control. Ah, useless. I won't subject you to any more screen flicker there. Yeah, this machine works really, really well. I'm really pleased with it. I've not needed to clean it. Barely got a speck of dust on it. Check disk does say that the hard drive got 16K of bad sectors. So it's last formatted in 1993. So I haven't bothered formatting it. I quite like it's got created in 1993, so I'll leave that. 22 minutes past midnight. Yeah, it's got the expansion box, which doesn't seem particularly common. Screen is absolutely crystal clear and nice and bright. The only problem is the keyboard. But I believe that is a simple capacitor fix. I say simple, it's supposedly quite difficult to take that keyboard apart and the springs go everywhere, so I need to do that carefully. I think I'll do that in another video. But I think I'll just run hardware info on this because I've not done that yet. Interestingly, this PC came out 2-3 years after the PS2 386s, so it was a step back in spec, but I guess they believe for the home market it didn't matter. I think it probably did. 1990, the 286 was probably getting a little bit long in the tooth, but it did its job. I can see this machine was quite well used. Just the sheer amount of documents that the kids have written on here. So yeah, I forgot. Hardware info in this one, HW info 16 286s. Yeah, there we go. Intel 286 10 MHz, no maths, GoPro, ISA. PS1 model 2011. That's exactly what it is. VGA colour, 256 kbytes. So that can do 640 by 480 in 16 colours, which is what Windows is using. It's interesting to use IDE. There's no IDE on this. Well, wherever it is. It's easy to SCSI. 30 meg. Doesn't see the ROM drive though. PS1 audio card. I do not have a PS1 audio card in this. I would like a PS1 audio card. There's a little daughter board that goes inside the machine, but no, I do not have one of those. Anyway, one last thing I do have with this machine is I have some documentation. Let's have a quick look at this. So I have an IBM tour guide which has got the for the 4 quadrants. What's interesting, it does not have the modem, so it's specific for UK. What do you want to do? Where is it located? How to learn, how to start. Additional help. What do I want to do? Letters, budgets, telephone lists, bulletin boards. Oh, bunch of works communications here. Configure the machine, your own software. Quite a cool little guide. There's a getting started guide with your PS1. Dated June 1990. Tells you how to plug it all in. Warning: if you're an experienced PC user, you may be tempted to format your fixed disk. Don't! Formatting destroys all programs contained on a fixed disk drive. If you're experienced, then you wouldn't want to format your hard drive, surely. How to use a mouse, how to use a keyboard. Date and time. Right, left keys and right stuff works. And where to go next? Some good advice. Back up. Advice has not changed. 32 years. And then we've got the user's reference option installation. Oh. Diskcopy.bat. Don't know what that is. System care. It's interesting though. It's a colour photographic display attachment. Photographic in capital letters. Like that. That's what they called it. Photographic. I'll show you photographic. I need to delete that group, and I stop it flashing quite so much. Oh. Don't know why I turn the contrast down, stops it flashing, but it does. Oh, chess, there we go. Go on, you little 286, you can open this. It's home in the hard drive. Now there's your photographic. All 16 colours of it. What a classic picture. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you on the next one.